What's up, everyone? Today, we're going to be doing my early 2023-2024 NBA predictions. Now, the first team we're going to be talking about is the Boston Celtics. Now, let's be honest here. They're probably the favorites to win the finals. Because let me just name you 4 of their 5 starters. They have Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. What the actual next team we're going to be talking about is the Brooklyn Nets, and let's be honest, they're not going to do anything at all for the reason that they're really now in a rebuilding phase. They have Mikal Bridges, and that's a really big start, but they need to build around him and really develop him as a star player. So overall, they're not making the playoffs, and they're probably going to be like a top 10 pick in the draft. Now, understand there's no bias. Understand there's no biasm for this next team. Now the Knicks, they look pretty good. They got pretty far in the playoffs, even though they were severely the underdogs in round 1. And their team looks great. They had the highest scoring bench, at least by the middle of the season last year, and had one of the best defenses. And not even talking about how well Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson played in the regular season. That there are some work needed, that RJ does need to, kind of develop now into that all-star that everyone's kind of hoping that he would become. And for Randle to become more of a clutch player in the playoffs, because Brunson can't carry the team all by himself. So I think the Knicks are going to make it to the playoffs, and they're not going to make it far. Now, the 76ers are in a very rocky position because they do have a bright future, but the team is super unstable, and this is the year that they have to prove to Joel Embiid that he should stay. Now, if James Harden leaves, Joel Embiid would leave to the Knicks. But all jokes aside, the 76ers really need to show Joel that they're not just some second-round exit team. The Raptors are in a weird situation that they could make it to the playoffs, but they also don't have enough talent to make it. It's a very weird situation. They still need a lot more time to really be able to assert themselves as a dominant powerhouse of the Eastern Conference. Now, the Chicago Bulls have all the talent they need to make it far into the playoffs and potentially become contenders. They have the likes of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, and of course their leader, Alex Caruso, but simply just cannot get the job done. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers might be the biggest sleeper in this entire thing. They have so much young star power, and now they've linked up and have great chemistry now, and I think that they can make it so far into the playoffs and even could contend against the likes of Milwaukee and Boston and could make it to the finals. Now, the Detroit Pistons have amazing young talent, and I think they can do a lot better than what they've been doing in the last couple of years. But that doesn't really say much. It's basically saying I can become richer than a homeless person. But overall, I think they're going to do a little better and probably still be a lottery pick in the draft. Now, the Indiana Pacers have a lot of amazing talent, and especially with their star player, Tyrese Halliburton. He shows a lot of potential, but there's not enough around him to make a good team. So they're really going to be a mid-standings table and have like the 16th to 17th pick in the draft. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks don't have an aneurism, but they're being a little too overbloated. Now, I understand they have Dame, Giannis, and Chris Middleton, but they're acting like it's the 92 Dream Team. Now, don't get it twisted. They probably have some of the best chances along with Denver and Boston to win the finals, but they're not as good as everyone's saying they are. Next team we're going to be talking about is the Atlanta Hawks. And basically, they have a problem that they have 2 stars. And that sounds great, right? But it's 2 point guards that both need the ball at all times to be able to be cooking everybody else. Now, this is going to be a problem that might even lead them to not even making the play in. Now, the Hornets have so much talent, but the one problem they have are that they're all troublemakers. LaMelo Ball has LeVar Ball as his dad. That's bad enough. Miles Bridges has beaten his girlfriend, the mother of his kids, numerous times. Brandon Miller barely escaped prison charges. And Kai Jones, I'm not even sure if he's on the team anymore, but he went on a psych ward. So the management needs to tell them to get their class act together so they can win games. And the next team we're talking about is the Miami Heat. They did really well in the playoffs. Almost beat the Nuggets in the finals. They were excited for the off season because Dame was supposed to go there, and they slipped away from them, and they never got him. Never got him. I'm not sure what they're gonna do now, but I think they're gonna have some same results when they have Jimmy Cooks there. But life hates them. Sorry guys, I was in my emo phase. But we're talking about the Magic now, and they have great young potential. And other than the Hornets, they're smart people. They don't beat up their girlfriends, but they're not good enough yet. They don't have that star to bring them to the playoffs. Maybe Paulo will be that in a few years. Maybe Franz Wagner will be that. But overall, they're really just going to be a lottery pick team this year. Now, before we get to our final team, we're going to make a part 2 of this of Western Conference teams. So make sure you like and subscribe because that really helps me to continue making these videos. Thanks. The team we're going to be talking about is the Washington Wizards. Really, there's no future. I understand they got Jordan Poole, but who's really going to be carrying the team? Danny Advia.